Welcome back. Today we're going to make bananas Foster. I promised you something with bananas, and this is one of my favorite recipes. I'm skipping the New Orleans style because it uses a little bit of rum, and you have to ignite the whole pan, and we're not going to go there. But this is a very child-safe version, and I think you guys are going to love it. So let's look at the recipe first. We need a half of a cup of butter, which we're going to melt. We're going to add 1 cup of dark brown sugar, and dark brown is better than the light brown. It gives it a little bit more of a caramel flavor. About a half a cup of whipping cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a dash of cinnamon, 2 ripe bananas sliced in half and half again, and I'll show you that in a minute. So let's begin. I'm going to warm up my pan, which I think is already pretty warm. Get this down to a good temperature. All right, and here's my half a cup of butter. I just chopped it up because it'll melt a little bit quicker that way and more evenly. Let's turn this down even a little bit more. That's a little bit hot. There we go. Okay, you're going to melt your butter, and this is melting real fast. There we go, it's looking good. So to our melted butter, let's add our 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And you're going to mix that in. And what you want to do is get this sugar to get all smooth and melted through with the butter. This will take a few minutes. Usually we use about a medium-high heat. I'm using an induction burner. It's a little bit different. I can't really gauge it. It doesn't do medium-high or like a normal stove. But anyway, definitely, whoop. Okay, that is a big chunk of brown sugar we're just going to pull out because that is not going to melt. So here we go. Let's get this all melted. And it looks a little bit like it's going to separate, but that's perfectly fine. Another thing I wanted to mention, I am going to add pecans. You don't have to add nuts, but nuts are an absolute option, and I would do about a half a cup if you're going to add them. All right, let's get that heat up a little bit. And to this, we're going to add our half cup. We've got everything melted now, so this is about right. You can see what it looks like. It's ready for about a half of a cup of heavy whipping cream. So get the heavy whipping cream going, and you want it to come to a nice little boil. Mix it through. I'm going to use my whisk at this point. This is going to be so rich and yummy. You can tell it's already looking like caramel. That's exactly what you want. I'm going to cook that off just a little bit, let it bubble up. I want to show you the texture. You're kind of getting it so it's just a little bit thick. Let it cook for a couple minutes and it'll thicken as it cooks. And you definitely want all that sugar to dissolve, but you don't want to burn it. So you have to be a little bit careful. You kind of have to keep stirring. I like the whisk because it blends it really well. You're starting to get a little bit of a white foam on top, then you know it's good. This is looking really good. Okay, to this, we're going to add our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Sizzle, sizzle. Next thing you're going to do is take your bananas that have been halved and halved again. You're going to put them flat side down into your caramel. Be very careful. It's really hot. And you don't want this to get on you because it'll hurt. It can burn. It's like a caramel. I'm going to turn it down just a teeny bit. You're going to leave the bananas. This is only 2 bananas that I cut. You're going to leave the bananas sit in there for just a few minutes. You want to get them a little bit soft, so let them cook a little bit. And to that, I'm going to add my pecans, because I really like pecans, and I just wanted a little bit of crunch in there. That is looking really good, really good. We're going to let those bananas simmer for just a few minutes, and we'll be back when they're ready. Now you see, take a good look at this. Our bananas have been cooking. You wanted them to get a little bit soft. Now you take a fork and a spoon, and you're going to flip them over I want to get to the other side, and I can tell that they're cooked perfectly. They're just tender to the touch. Tender to the touch. Let's let them sit in there for just a second longer. And the last thing, I always find this interesting, it's added lastly, but it just is, the cinnamon. So now what you're going to do is take your cinnamon, I'm just going to put a little bit in my hand, and you're going to sprinkle the cinnamon on top. And that was about, I guess about a half a teaspoon, I think is what it called for. A dash, yeah. Whatever if you like a lot of cinnamon, add more. But actually, this is our dessert, and I think it's ready. So what I'm going to do is serve some up. I'm going to turn it off. Turn off my stove. Get my little dish here. And I'm going to take one of these. This is how you're supposed to, and serve it. We're gonna, now, generally you would serve this on ice cream, or you could have it on waffles or pancakes. I don't have any ice cream today, so I'm going to eat mine with a little bit of whipped cream. So first of all, I've got my bananas and my pecans. Take a look at that while I get my whipped cream. And I'm going to put a little bit of whipped cream in the center of this. I whipped this a little bit earlier. Whoa, that looks amazing. And now I'm going to add just a little bit more of this delicious sauce with a couple of nuts, because I love those nuts. Wow, this looks amazing. I think we better take a taste test. Oh, wow, the banana's perfect. It's really soft in the center, but it's still holding together. Get a little bit of that cream with it, and definitely get some of that sauce. You might want to let it cool a second, but oh my gosh. This is ridiculously good. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Super simple. You guys are going to love this. I can't wait to hear about it. I'll see you Thursday, and we'll catch up on our Bananas Foster.